All right, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever it is that you are. Welcome once more to another video podcast of Political News Time, right here on the Periscope platform, coming to you live from the PNT Live Network. And remember, if you would like to check out archives of this podcast and many others, just pop on over to pntlive.net. I'm your hostess, Alex Mayers. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day or evening or week even. Tonight, I really want to touch on what's going on with these damn BLM protests. Now, as many of you are aware, I'd say about a month ago now, maybe more, I made it publicly known that I am not supportive of the Black Lives Matter political movement anymore, primarily at the time at least due to the defund the police agenda that was tacked on to it. Because as soon as I heard that, I was like, you know what, something's wrong with that. There's no way that that could possibly benefit me or my African American brothers and sisters in the long term. So time to jump off that political bandwagon. And you know, it's a good thing I did, and I do want to publicly thank an individual known as Jason Quinlan for his support in my choosing not to support Black Lives Matter, because when I first started feeling like there was something wrong with it, so many people who follow me on my social media or that I just know were like, no, you're a Black woman. You have to support Black Lives Matter. I actually felt like I was being bullied by, for the most part, Democrats in regards to Black Lives Matter. But Jason Quinlan is an independent thinker, and he was like, you know what, girl? You don't need to support that shit. And he was right. He was absolutely right, because if you pop on over to my Twitter account, you will see a tweet that I just reposted. It's a video link over to Fox News in regards to something that just transpired this past weekend. Apparently, Saturday night in Portland, Oregon, at a Black Lives Matter protest, a Black male conservative journalist was stabbed by a supposed peaceful protester. And it was a white male who stabbed him. A white male named Blake.
Longas had split off from the rest of the group, and he had his hands in his pockets and was just staring us down. He just looked like he was intending to do some type of ill intent toward one of the members of my group for being out there filming. And so I passed off the camera that I was holding to one of the guys that were in my group and said, here, hold this, just make sure you keep the camera on me.
Someone's stalking us.
Hey buddy, why are you following us?
Ow! Ow! Did you just stab him? Bro, he just stabbed him, dude!
I just kind of wanted to see if I could de-escalate the situation by walking up and saying, hey, what's up, buddy? Why do you guys keep following us? And that's when he pulled the knife out with his right hand and came around and stabbed me in the back. I ended up calling 911 myself, and she said, yes, sir, there's an ambulance on the way. We're trying to get to the scene. The police has to clear it out and make a perimeter before that they can come in. And I just said, can you guys please hurry? Because I'm worried that I'm going to die out here. Thinking about that, it makes me a little more emotional thinking about that, because for that point in time that I really thought in the back of my head that I'm not going to see my parents ever again at this moment, and that my mom's going to wake up seeing this on the news and me dying.
Amid the Portland protests, violent altercations with federal agents as well as among activists. Police charging Blake Hampy with felony assault and unlawful use of a weapon for allegedly stabbing a man at a Portland Black Lives Matter protest early Saturday morning. The victim, videographer Drew Duncombe.
And you know what? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all, because it wasn't too long ago that I did a podcast, and you can check it out right now if you want to, over on Political News Time, to where I was specifically saying that there are a far too large of a number of white porn stars and white people attached to the adult entertainment industry who are pushing this Black Lives Matter thing and encouraging people to go to these Black Lives Matter protests with the intent of pushing the agenda of defunding the police. All right? And I am willing to put money on the fact that these white people doing this on social media who are pushing the BLM agenda to defund the police, I'm willing to bet that the majority of them are linked to organized crime, specifically sex trafficking. All right? I know one of the lead whites who's really pushing BLM within the adult industry, an individual known as Alana Evans. I know that she wants to defund the police. And honestly, she needs to be locked up herself. Lock her up. Lock Alana Evans up. Because she has been hurting African Americans for years. She lied about me. I really should file a lawsuit against her in regards to things that she said about me. Don't be surprised if I do. Because someone needs to set precedents in regards to her lying ass. She lies about everything. She's pushing dangerous, racist agendas. She is using black people as a shield to push organized crime agendas. And she has harmed our current president of the United States by likely lying about him. She needs to be locked up, and someone needs to throw away the key. And it's individuals such as her, which really were the final push in regards to me finally listening to Candace Owens and leaving the Democratic plantation. Because I'm going to tell you this, I can't be a part of a political party that is going to put on a pedestal literal whores while condoning the harm of African Americans, such as what just happened in Portland, Oregon. So I do encourage my African American brothers and sisters to all leave the Democratic plantation. You don't have to join the Republican Party. You could be independent. But I'll tell you this, the more that time goes by, the more that Trump makes sense. And I'll tell you something else. I think that this upcoming election does need to be postponed indefinitely. Because I am not comfortable with having a change in political administrations in the midst of a pandemic that is literally of biblical proportions. I mean, we are in a literal plague right now. And you're going to tell me that there's not going to be a continuity of government? No, I'm not okay with that. Someone tweeted me today, of course, from an anonymous account saying, oh, well, it's not your call when it comes to the election. How do you know it's not my call? Am I not a tax-paying American citizen? If anything, it should be my call and the call of many people who think like me when it comes to this upcoming election, because now's not the time. Not at all. When I think about a lot of things in my life that have bettered since Trump has been in office, at first, I was like, because I've been brainwashed to be a Democrat the majority of my life. But as I really look at a lot of things, I mean, at the start of the Trump presidency, at this time of night, at the start of that presidency, I'd likely be at least into 5 bottles of beer. Now, I am 10 months completely free of alcohol and cigarettes. Maybe it's something about Trump that sobers you up. Could be. But my point is that a lot of people are doing pretty well right now. And when it comes to this pandemic, there's just too many unknowns. Too many unknowns. So we do need a continuity of government. There's a lot of things that do need to be finished. And go ahead and give Trump 4 more years, as far as I'm concerned. Give Trump and Pence 4 more years. Because look at who's running on the Democratic ticket. Look at who the Democrats are supporting and putting up on pedestals. A bunch of whores and porn stars. That's sick. That's really sick. I started wanting to escape the Democratic plantation when I saw Stormy Daniels on The View, honestly. And that was when I was still trying to be Democrat. No. And honestly, I want to know exactly how responsible is Barack Obama for protecting those two, Stormy Daniels and Alana Evans, because if he has anything to do with that, I don't even want him to be a part of being a Black American anymore. Because those two women, they've harmed too many African Americans as far as I'm concerned. Stormy Daniels by perpetuating the stigma against African Americans in the adult entertainment industry, and Alana Evans just simply by breathing. Yeah.
He did just stab him, and the man who was stabbed survived. He joins us tonight, the journalist Andrew Duncombe. We welcome him. Andrew, thanks so much for coming on. So the factual questions first. Why were you stabbed? Who did it? And has that person been arrested?
Yes, I was stabbed by a known Antifa member by the name of Blake Hamp. I feel like I was stabbed and or targeted specifically due to my location being doxxed about me being here inside of Portland 17 hours before I had arrived.
Has the man who stabbed you been arrested? Is he in jail right now?
Yes, he's been arrested. He's charged with second-degree felony assault. I'm currently being held on a $250,000 bail.
He just missed your spinal cord. By the way, congratulations on surviving. This stabbing has received very little news coverage, I assume because you're not a leftist. Had you seen this guy before? Did you expect it? Why do you think he did it?
I've never seen him before. Once again, I had been stalked and doxxed previously on Twitter by these people here, the Rose City Antifa group, where they would put my information out there saying like, he'll be here, he will be here. Previously in the past, I've been targeted by Antifa previously in the past, and so for me to say specifically what the intent was, I'm not sure.
Right. Well, you're obviously a Black man who disagrees with their views, so that must be deeply offensive to them. What happened after you were...
The targeting definitely has to do with me being a Black Trump supporter, and any time that I come to film, they know that it destroys their narrative and it goes against what they're trying to promote.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's one revolutionary who doesn't think Black Lives Matter, I guess.